Welcome, everyone, to Week 8 of Season 8 of the Onward VRML. My name is NightFiree with 2 E's, and I'm joined with my co-caster, Sleepy, with 2 3's. How are you this fine evening, Sleepy?
I'm doing well, NightFiree. Thank you so much for having me, and we've been able to do a co-cast here. I think I was talked out after my last solo cast, let me tell you.
Yeah, absolutely. There's been a lot of action abound in the Master League this weekend. It has been non-stop games. 3 games Friday, 3 games today. I think we're going to go 4 and 5. As Todd is also picking up Gunning on Empty versus Cold Steel on Master League 3, if that's something that interests you. But we got Spaceforce and the 5 Horsemen. Who's the 5 Horsemen? You may ask. It's Traden's team, a new squad. Box Toys, Dr. Sean, Enigma, and Raz. Not exactly so new. So they've been doing relatively well early on in this season so far. I've only played 2 games, and they've won them pretty handily against Colettos and Sinister Pride, and now they're going up against their first challenge, I think, this season.
Yeah, Spaceforce has been a team that's been looking pretty solid. I mean, overall, somewhat consistent, not wholly consistent by any means, because, I mean, they're not, undefeated this season. They're not just whipping out whoopings all the time, you know what I mean? But yeah, I think this will be a really good matchup, and that's why I picked it up earlier when I saw it scheduled, because I'm like, I think this one is going to be one of those middle of the ladder bouts where we're just going to see a lot of just hardcore, like, just knockout punches going back and forth between these 2 teams.
Yeah, I expect some weird movements to come out of both squads, honestly. Stuff that's uncharacteristic, that you wouldn't really expect to see, just to catch the other team off guard. And I think we should dive into pick bans, because we do have both teams ready, well, getting ready in the current lobby. So, Sleepy, what are the bans for today? I think I passed to him at a poor time.
Oh, my apologies. Yeah, nope, I just forgot to
I know you did. There we go. What are the bans for today?
Yeah, so our first ban will be in from the away team, and that'll be from the 5 Horsemen. They are banning Suburbia, and the home team, Spaceforce, is banning Cargo. So 2 of our smallest maps kind of off the board, so that's leaving nothing but a lot, a few mid-range and large maps. We also have those new maps in there, so I'm wondering, will we see some turbine tonight? Will we see some turbine action?
I think that's got to be agreed on by both squads, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think it's a open choice quite yet for the VRML, but I'm not the mod, you are, so you would definitely know how things are rolling.
Well, as the rule specifically states, if both teams specifically agree to it on new maps, otherwise they are officially not in the rotation. So if one of these teams were to say no, that's it, end of story, no arguments, no anything, it's over. But
no, I wouldn't mind seeing it. It is definitely a fun new map.
Yeah,
had a good time playing on it the last few days.
Yeah, and with there being some newer people in there, you've got Traden and his team. Traden coming up for the Onward Rookie Boot Camp of about a season back or so before coming into the league. They might be a little bit more, I don't know, loose with the map picks. They might go with something strange like Turbine.
Traden actually an ex-Spaceforce member.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's been around for quite some time. Curious to see how his squad will fare against Spaceforce. For map number 1, we are going to be going to Quarantine. I don't know if you said that, Sleepy. I don't think you have quite yet, but we are going to be going to Quarantine for map number 1. That leaves Subway, Bazaar, Downfall, and Tanker as the remaining map pool. We do still have, I mean, that's a couple of close quarter opportunities there. Subway got played earlier today. That was a really fun map to watch, very back and forth. And I think Subway is a much more competitive map than it ever has been, as we did talk about when we were casting that match here on this channel. You can always go back and watch the VODs. We don't really talk about that very often, but if you do want to catch the old action, you can go check the YouTube, which I do recommend following, or the Twitch VODs. You can always watch the old games, and I do recommend you do to learn a thing or two.
I think the most reliable place, to be honest, for the VODs is definitely going to be the YouTube. I was going back through that the other night on the videos playlist that's on there, and we've got some casts that date all the way back to like the Season 2 championships, where Thunder Pilot, Radar Head, and Lonely Viper were doing I think it was the Challenger Cup. And it was the old way of doing it with the old 2 POV streams and, the fancy overlay to make things look better. And it's just amazing to be able to go back and literally, even from the thumbnails, just be able to watch and see how the Onward Master League has truly evolved over the years.
I get to see how the 5 Horsemen are going to evolve as they go up against their first tough opponent this season, Spaceforce. Round 1, map 1 is underway. No more waiting for the action, Sleepy.
There's some very weird noises coming out of the 5 Horsemen over here. It sounds like a circus just rolled into quarantine.
What did you expect out of the wild trading squad?
I don't know, but there are a lot of smokes.
Great smokes, too. Oh, what was gap in coverage there? Traden's going to walk across just to ensure that he's safe.
Well, fortunately, that gap in coverage was covered by the overturned Humvee down the street, so it wasn't.
That's true.
It wasn't as hurting. No, I'm just gonna forget that one. We're gonna continue to just follow what's going on. Back to you, NightFiree.
Alrighty, you can see the entire Spaceforce squad here opting for a south rotation. They are going to be running in to a couple of Horsemen that are tucked in. They did cross the street, so they have 1 and 3 story, and then, I mean, very typical defensive positions to be in the south side. So you can see Spaceforce is a bit cautious of what could be here. Though.
Man, I hope they don't keep spacing like that the rest of the way through the map, because one good grenade is going to take out 3 members of Spaceforce. Luckily, there's a long way between them and the objective still, so they got a long time to get that worked out. Plus, it's only round 1, so shake the cobwebs out, knock off the rest.
I would be surprised to see a 5 Horsemen toss a nade into a group of 3. That would be a pretty good nade toss, but we'll see what happens. It's looking like Spaceforce are taking their time on this approach. Destructor the most forward advanced up in here in the north. But a pretty good amount of respect from Spaceforce towards this 5 Horsemen team, considering 5 Horsemen really haven't even been placed yet. This is their 3rd placement match.
Ooh, interesting. Man.
Yeah, they're actually considered a bronze team right now, going up against the gold Spaceforce, so definitely the underdogs.
Imagine what kind of ranking they may be able to pull with a nice win here.
I would say at least silver, because I think they've won their other 2 matches already as well.
Ooh, and Driver is going to get caught out in the open from Enigma all the way in the southeast portion of the map, shooting from that
-1 south.
Big 5-story building towards the plane wing.
I've always called it, I guess it is a 5-story, but I've always called it 3-story because it is only one of the few buildings you can get to that 3rd story that Enigma's on.
Yeah, I don't.
Because you can't get to the 4 and 5.
Yeah, of course. No, that's a good way of calling it. I don't know. I guess my brain just works on the direct visual.
Tell a lot of people. That's why callouts differ, because some people have callouts like that, or
or they just have goofy callouts for their team. Like, oh, that's NightFire's Nook over there, and that's Sleepy Slot and
Sickness's Bush.
Yeah, exactly. Like certain teams, especially if a player has a known reputation for sitting there, they're gonna be like, oh, that's Smoils' spot inside the garage that Traden is sitting in. You big copycat.
Yeah, and I mean, both these spots are actually, I mean, this to the point I was making earlier, both these spots are known. Like, the players play these pretty regularly, and you can see Enigma's now in a bit of a jam. He has the pillar, which he can stay tight and tucked behind, but if he makes a little movement out left or right, he does expose himself, and his shoulder gets clipped there.
Yeah, Lionheart here on the plane wing, and he does have the 12x, so he's going to be the one to be able to take those shots. And you're right, if Enigma makes the wrong moves, he's going to just keep exposing that elbow, and well, Lionheart can definitely kind of capitalize on that for sure, and just kind of keep picking away, just kill him by shooting his elbow eventually.
Take a quick stock of where the rest of Spaceforce is. We have another one down there moving in with Lionheart's support. Diesel's posted up in the center, and then they have Destructor still over north by APC. He really hasn't moved since the start of the round. He's been sitting over here by this wall for quite a while waiting for his team to get into position.
And that's what I also find interesting is the 5 Horseman defense. You really don't have any direct coverage on the objective, just the one guy sitting inside the courtyard. Now, granted, the rest of the angles that the team is able to hold can cover just about every approach angle. But if something were to happen and they were able to slip by somebody, trading there, picking up Diesel from that spot that we talked about a little bit ago, one Smoils
nook.
making famous, yeah, Smoils' little nook.
Yeah, that's probably one of the more important denials there, because now they really are going to have a tough time getting anywhere close to objective. They have Lionheart taking down Enigma, a huge pick that is going to open up the south quite a bit, actually. Although you do still have the angle from Diesel that they're going to have to worry about. Or sorry, Dr. Sean catching out one. Lionheart, eyes trained in on Sean, takes him down. Now the push coming in. Destructor tries to go up towards objective. He gets picked off. There's still Trade and tucks into the corner, who finds Lionheart unaware of his position, and the 5 Horsemen take their first defensive round.
Yeah, it was pretty solid defense there from 5 Horsemen. I really don't have anything I can say. My only one thing that I guess I could say is, maybe reconsider that defense, but since you were still 5 strong, there's no sense in needing to put more people on the objective, so that can be kind of a situational thing. And I don't know how they would have reacted had more of their players went down. So a great job from Spaceforce, from the 5 Horsemen, an excellent defense from them. Spaceforce taking a lot of time there. I mean, that last player only had 15 seconds left as he charged in towards the objective, and he was way off, so he wasn't even going to make it anyways. So yeah, I'd say Spaceforce still a little bit of timing issues to work out there on that objective. I don't know, maybe the hold up there with I think it was Driver getting picked there in the south initially by Enigma might have hold you up or screwed up your mindset on that attack, but try and shake that off. Keep the push moving, because you definitely don't want to have 2 enemies on the map. Being one, your actual enemy, the Volk, and then 2, the second enemy, which is always there looming over you, which is time. So that's all I can really say on that one, but a great round overall. I think this is going to end up being a great match.
I think we'll see how great. I think we got to suss out how the 5 Horsemen are going to approach, because that was a good defensive hold there, and they really didn't give Spaceforce a chance to get in on that objective, denying their center approach. Now they get to go on the offense. We'll see what kind of spawn they are given and how fast they are going to be charging towards the objective, because I don't know. I think you can really play this one fast if you come up the center. You play those the south walls actually that are kind of close towards objective a little bit. You can play it quick.
Oh, for sure. I mean, we saw the most. I mean, there's a pretty interesting clip from, and it's gonna sound bad, but from the Danglers of them just like marching right up that south street, like 5 across, like they were a freaking Civil War infantry line, and they just charge right down the street on this objective and go and manage to get the cap in, like, I don't know, it's like a minute and 10 seconds or something like that, which for this objective is impressive. Now, if it were the other side of that building, that kind of East Tank Courtyard objective, it wouldn't be as impressive. It's like, oh, okay, not as bad. But for this one, that was impressive. So what really surprised me was it worked. So you're exactly right, NightFiree. Aggression can definitely work on this objective, but will either of these teams choose to use it?
I really don't know how 5 Horsemen play. I don't think very many people do, and that's maybe why they've been able to snag a couple of games early. And I don't know, Spaceforce on the back foot now in that 1-0 deficit. This is still map 1, so not a ton of rounds have gone on, and we're obviously making some early assumptions, but I'm curious to see what the Horsemen are going to break out here.
Well, the choice to use 1 or 2 smokes coming out from the side of the 5 Horsemen here on this round as they try and push 2, or I'm sorry, from the side of Spaceforce here as they try and push 2 south. I think they were waiting to see if they were going to see any movement in the south before they risked any more smokes. Meanwhile, though, in the north, Enigma will find Diesel as the full 5 Horsemen push their way from west to east across that northern side. Now, I would expect them to at least get this double tap and not leave Diesel hanging, but looks like he's laying just on the other side of a nice ridge, which will keep him alive for the time being.
Yeah, Space Force have a decent coverage of the south, but their north coverage is not as strong in my opinion. You know, they have that one down here that they're about to go pick up. You can see Enigma is pushing to get the confirm, and here it goes. And so now they have control of the north. They're going to have to rely on their hotel coverage to really maintain the north control. But, you know, if they pushed up towards APC, put out some smokes, there's a lot of possibilities. They're also...
Hey, don't go that way. Don't go that way.
Yeah, I was going to say, Enigma...
Use the walls.
Warning trade-in to go the longer route, and I do think they might wrap all the way around to the east.
That's what it's looking like at this point. I'm just wondering how it's going to work out. They finally spaced out a bit now, so they've kind of spread the coverage in the north out a little bit more, and they're not kind of clumped together in one big amalgamous blob. But I'm really interested to see how a 5-pronged attack from the north is going to come in, because it's going to take complete coordination in order to be able to overcome the enemy. If you're going to invest all 5 to come in from that one side, it does look like Dr. Sean's going to push his way across, maybe make his way over to the middle to help to provide some support towards the hotel defender, maybe. But a heavy investment in the north on this objective, I don't know. It seems like the riskier way to go in comparison to, say, staying in the center or south.
I think maybe they're concerned about the potential of defenders being way on the back of the objective over on that east side, because that's been a new defensive style some people have opted for, where they'll send a sniper for somebody way in the back on the east there to really maintain coverage, because you have a decent line of sight on objective back there. And maybe that's what they're cautious of as they do rotate here. They may run into the line of Snakebite. He was taking a gander there, but he can't look through the car that's posted up in front of him.
So I came down to check out old Lionheart's position here way far in the south, because he's got angles, but he's going to be shooting at pixels to get shots. Anyways, I also happen to notice that there's still shadows for trees here on the south side of Quarantine.
Interesting. Yeah, he does have a long line of sight. Took some shots out. Didn't quite land them. Snakebite not seeing anything as well. And yeah, this is the long east rotation from Enigma and Trade. And I wonder if they're going to send another over here as well before they make their push. But I mean, it's going to be a late push before they get in there. Two minutes on the clock.
Yep, only 2 minutes left. But in my opinion, I think they're in a better striking position than Space Force were at this time frame.
Agreed.
They're much closer to the objective now. They've definitely got their work cut out for them, because attacking that hotel is like assaulting a fortress. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many windows and rooms that the defender could actually be in. You have to actually be methodical and take your time to clear it. Because if you don't check even one of those rooms, which is accessible by the defender, he could be laying in there, and then you run across the street, and he pops up and shoots you from the window.
Dr. Sean inching his way up to the center. Wonder if he'll be prepared for driver of car.
Oh, he is. He's looking that way. He's already looking for the kill. Ooh. He gets off 1 round, and the trade happens. Driver of car does get the full kill. But he is downed in the process. Some smoke's going out on the eastern side now. Looks like maybe the horsemen are ready to ride. No action, no movement off the smoke yet, though. That always concerns me. And not only do I see it with the newer teams, but I also see it with the veteran teams even, where they pop smokes and they plant them very well. And for once, you know, they get the dice roll to work in their favor, and they get a nice smoke coverage. And then they don't act on it. or they act on it when the smoke's getting ready to disappear, and it's like, well, what was the point of throwing the smoke in the first place if you're just going to wait for it to disappear?
Snakebite gets one on the corner, keeps pushing, wasn't expecting the second as Box Toys finds the refrag, and here comes the push. Smokes are out, one went over the top of the hotel, one confirming there by Raz. Driver of car goes down, Enigma's charging forward, Lionheart catches Box Toys on the east, we're into a 2v2.
Oh, this is a cap. This is totally a cap, or maybe not. 12 seconds. Enigma's going for the cap. He's not even worried about the defender. He runs right by him. Raz now on the objective. 5 seconds left. He runs right in. Destructor's right there. What is? He's going for the cap and Destructor. What? What is? What? Spaceforce get the kill and take the round. It's 1-1 here on Quarantine.
We said we were going to see some weird stuff today, like as we expected, but that was definitely the weirdest thing that I've seen in a while. I don't know what happened.
Did they legitimately not know each other were there, or
so what? I think he ran in, he went to grab his pad and like turned left and didn't see him on his right because the FOV, remember, is not as wide, you know. So he as he's padding, he pulls pad out. Okay. That whole time he had the pad right in front of him. Whoever was on Volk was trying to grab their shoulder to knife him, but couldn't get the knife for like 5 grabs. Then they went to the pistol and tried to shoot him, and he almost, I mean, I don't know how much time he had there, but he had a decent amount of time to punch in the code.
He really did. I mean, any fast cappers in that spot, they might have actually been able to pull that off, and we would have been like really mind blown. But fortunately for Spaceforce, they do get the kill somehow, some way. I mean, but either way, again, they were fighting 2 enemies at once because the clock was at that point at like 5 seconds. Like either way, he dies or not, he's got to get that code in or he loses.
Bit of a EU infection going on over here in the NA games right now.
Quite a bit, yeah. Both teams a bit more methodical, pacing a bit slower than we might be used to in an NA matchup. But, you know, there's nothing to say it's wrong. It's just the only problem with it is that right now, the time management aspect of it isn't working. This is fine as long as you can keep that momentum positive, right? Don't stall. Don't try and backtrack if you can help it. I mean, obviously, if the situation calls for it, you have to do it. But you know, you just got to try and keep making sure that you're pushing forward and not really holding too much. Because I'm seeing a lot of like holding in certain parts of your push for 2.5 minutes, quarter of the round, and then going to another spot and kind of doing the same thing. And now I understand wanting to kind of analyze the patterns of a possible patrol or a flanker and just be ready for that. But at the same time, you have to remember that you've got an attack to accomplish. Whether it's killing them or whether it's getting to the uplink, you've still got a time to do it in. So time management, I think, is still an issue for both of these teams, but I got nothing wrong or against their more methodical play style.
Yeah, and look at how aggressive the 5 Horsemen are getting on this approach. They were anticipating this spawn and Snakebite getting box toys early as the Enigma does get into a pretty advanced position over here by the Humver. Wow.
By the Hummy?
The Hummy or the Humver, whichever one you want. Neither one of them are correct. So you can see the feet here exposed from Enigma. He's so lucky they haven't been tagged yet.
Yeah, but not for trying though on the side of Diesel. He really wants to shoot those little toesies.
Enigma is holding up the entirety of Spaceforce though. You know, 3 of them here not able to push forward because Enigma's here at this Hummer, and you have also the 4th with his eyes trained in, trying to tag Enigma as he finally does find the kills in the confirm from driver of car. Uh-oh, Dr. Sean sees the entire Spaceforce squad and, geez, tries to land shots on Snakebite. He hits the deck. Driver of car almost goes down as well, but none of those shots from Dr. Sean landing.
It's interesting to see how this turned into just a big firefight over here in the west.
It was a weird strat from the 5 Horsemen. They sent 4 over to this side right away.
I mean, they matched aggression on both sides. 5 Horsemen got aggressive with their defense. Spaceforce went aggressive with their western push. And then they just locked into this firefight. Now Traden grabs driver car, Snakebite, and Diesel grab the remaining 2. And Spaceforce take another round and go up 2-1.
Again, we were expecting weird stuff. That was definitely an interesting strategy to invest 4 so heavily into that west side. I don't think I've ever seen that on defense before. I think maybe they wanted to... Gosh, I don't know. It seems risky to me to do that, because what happens if you get a north spawn? What happens if you get a crater spawn there? You know?
Yeah.
You have no coverage.
Well,
so it's true. So I think they have to... I don't know. I'm not... crazy strats coming out here, but Spaceforce able to walk away with the win. I think that's more what I was expecting to see from Spaceforce.
No, okay, fair enough. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, they really do seem to be waking up. That round, they seemed a lot more sure in their aggression. Like, they didn't seem like they were like, okay, should we do this? Should we do that? Right. No, they were very decisive. They were like, okay, push, continue pushing. The only time they held up was when they were met by a 4-man force, like we talked about early on, from the 5 Horsemen on that aggressive defense.
Yeah.
So it's really not their fault there, and they did what they should have done, which was kind of bunker down, get some solid cover, find a good angle, and try and get the picks, which they did. I mean, they picked Enigma, then they started to move back. They found Dr. Sean, pushed up, found the guy in the Traden, I think that was, in the 5 story in the northeast, and then coincidentally, at the same time, another shot was taken, and that was it. I mean, it was well executed.
Curious to see what'll happen if the 5 Horsemen also get a similar fast spawn. Because you can get that west spawn over there, so if they're fortunate enough to spawn in quick, I'd be curious to see what kind of strategies they break out as we do dive into round number 4 of map 1. And it looks like they got the slowest spawn they could get. Opposite side of the objective. Opposite side of the map, excuse me.
Spaceforce is saying hello.
I know. We're circling them. They're getting the attention they've wanted. What was that?
What was what?
Oh, I thought
a
I
noise
saw,
or
yeah, I thought I
something?
saw something get tossed out over by Snakebite. It was just maybe a little something weird anyway. Don't worry
He's
about
recycling his cans and bottles. Because Captain Planet told him he should when he was a kid.
And I mean, to the point we were talking about earlier, this is more of a defense that I would expect on this objective, because here Space Force is investing a little more effort into the north side. They have Diesel covering the north spawn, making sure nobody's coming in from Crater, or you know, it's actually a pretty advanced position here, because if they were at Crater, he could be looking at picks right now, but...
Oh yeah, the Crater spawn is terrible on this objective, especially if you choose to run north for that high alley. Yeah, exactly. This is kind of what I meant when I was like, oh, it's surprising to see the 5 Horsemen commit 4 to that side like we talked about, and it becoming that gunfight over there. Because this is how I expected to see, like you said, the defense set up. Way more controlled, way more let them come to us, let them eat up all their time again. Yeah, so we'll see. Space Force locking it down. They really just want to kind of, I think, just start taking every point they can and spreading this gap.
3-2 split. East and west side is going to be occupied. No one really opting to go up the center. Maybe Enigma will try his luck there, but they're going to need some utility to cross both streets, because there are eyes kind of trained in over here towards Dr. Sean and Raz.
Ooh, Sean does see the shots. Does take the shots onto Snakebite up there in the corner of the north building. He doesn't find any meat juice, but does pressure him off the corner and makes him fall back just a bit. Now, 5 Horsemen gonna have a little bit more work to do, but man, Dr. Sean checking in his next patient is Diesel, found on the corner of that eastern north rooftop building.
I stand corrected on the cross. All they needed was Dr. Sean to put out the right shots. He put him. He pushed off the one on the rooftop. He kills the one that was watching their cross, and now he's really opened up this east side for his team to advance from.
I just want a GIF of Dr. Sean in his player model right here, and like the next time he shoots, I want to see little pills coming out, like from like Dr. Mario, like, and it's like little prescription pills.
Microtransactions for that sort of stuff.
Oh God, let's not turn downpour into EA Nightfire. Oh, Dr. Sean, though, this could be where he falls. He could be hit with a malpractice suit here, as I believe that's driver of car. I can't quite read it from the player's distance from my camera, but ooh, interesting counter. It's gonna go on hit the deck.
Yeah, I wonder if he's actually going to spot him in the crack there as he does inch his way out into the open. Now he has to land these shots as he does take the misses one. Now he's exposed to that wall there as the shots do start ringing in towards his prone position, but they can't quite get over that little ridge, and Dr. Sean is just barely alive. So many rounds getting thrown his way.
Just under 2 minutes left in the round. Spaceforce pretty much still locking down the objective quite tightly. The 5 Horsemen on the approach, getting rather close now. There are guys over in the west making some impressive moves. Driver of car will pop out to find Raz. A nice little headshot and even things out. Now it's a 4v4 with 1:40 left on the clock.
He drops back on that long north side. He's concerned about the flank. 5 Horsemen have positioned themselves to come into this middle here. Box Toys and Traden going to be running into a few Space Force enemies as they inch their way up here. They're going to have to deal with Destructor first. He's definitely got the angle on this hill. Minute now on the clock. Horsemen have to start their push now. Box Toys catches out Lionheart. A very nice pick. Destructor able to deny trade in the up and over from that hilltop, and now he's going to have to deal with Box Toys, who he knows is on the corner, and he knows he's got limited time. Snakebite Eyes trained in as well, and Driver of Cars putting rounds out towards the smoke.
Yeah, 40 seconds on the clock. Dr. Sean's popped a smoke here as he's going to try and approach from the east. Snakebite's held up at the rooftop. So this will be the time for Dr. Sean to at least maybe push his way up to the tank and get some solid cover between him and his next depender. No, Snakebite will get a little too trigger happy and take down a member of his own team.
Is he gonna cap?
He's going for it, and he could do it too if Snakebite doesn't really check this. This is a cap. Oh, Ninja. No, Snakebite. Here comes Snakebite.
10 seconds.
He's got to see this. He's got to see this. No. What? Turn around and Space Force. Take it. It's 3-1 here on Quarantine, folks. Wow, I did not expect that ending. That is not the ending. That's like...
what a... Wow. I mean...
And
have we had a normal ending, actually? Think about it.
Dr. Sean did the right thing there, though, honestly. Like, he dropped the tablet. He went to go for the kill, and I don't know what happened. I mean, he missed the shots or something, but it just didn't work. Like... I really want one of those sound effects.
He tried, and I wondered, he was up by the nose of that truck for so long, and maybe he just was barely without out of range to punch in the code. But it seemed like he had a lot of time to get that cap off, and man, I mean that would have been it would have been 3-1 Horseman instead.
I know, right?
3-2.
What is your thoughts, Nightfire? Because I just thought of this as we were talking about it, on having like some sort of a ring displayed around the objective that could like show us in the spectator cam, like kind of where the cap range is. So if we see someone there and they're like trying to cap, but they're not in range, we're like, oh, okay, well, looks like they weren't in range. Or maybe have it to where it's like toggleable. So like if they go in for the cap and we say like, oh, why hasn't this gone through? We can maybe like pop it up and say, oh, well, it's not quite in range yet.
Seems like a solid idea. I would probably prefer them to hash out any bugs first before moving on to our caster needs. But yeah, I would like to know the radius on the objective. I guess you know, most players do know. They know where you have to be. You can cap on the 2-story here, not there, and.
Well, I mean, I know approximately, but I'd just be like able to I'd like to be able to visualize it. You know what I mean? Could also become a valuable training tool for teams.
Spaceforce in a 3-1 lead as we hop into round number 5 of map number 1. If you are just tuning in, you've missed a couple of rounds, but the action is underway. Spaceforce are taking it to the 5 Horsemen 3-1, and they're going on the offensive. Will they be able to grab map 1?
It's going to be well, I'll tell you right now, luckily for Spaceforce, they've got a minimum of 1 throwaway round here, as they've got a nice 2-point cushion in the score. But I'm sure they're not going to be thinking that way. I'm sure they're thinking, let's close this out right here, end at 4-1, and move on to our next target. However, they are going to have a fairly difficult, I'd probably rate it at about a 6 on a 1 to 10 difficulty scale. For attacking, but they did get a good spawn for it, I think. Not too far away, Dr. Sean will find a quick kill onto Diesel on the north rooftop courtyard. Lionheart going to be looking for the angle. Will Dr. Sean move? No, he's not going to.
It looked like Lionheart had the angle there, but maybe just
I know, the laser
sure.
made me think.
Regardless, they do know he's over there. Those shots did ring out, and now Lionheart is going to try and challenge him on the corner. Pre-firing, you can see a lot of bullets just ringing around the outside of Sean as he does finally peek around the barrier, lands the shots onto Lionheart, and that's going to really throw off Spaceforce's push.
Yeah, it really will. And then that check nade coming out from the center from, I believe it was Traden. A nice one and almost close enough to take down driver of car, too. And that would have shut down the entire kind of central push there. It would have only been the 2 guys left up on the roof at that point. And, man, that would have been one heck of a way to kind of shut down the momentum of Spaceforce here. That'd be a good way to kind of put them back on their heels and say, hey, guys, we're not as easy as you might think we are right now because you've got a 2-point advantage on the map.
Ooh, Dr. Sean does miss the cross towards the center. It was a really fast move from driver of car. Now he's going to be challenging Traden. He's also getting actively flanked, so he has limited time for this move. Enigma catches Snakebite.
Oh, yeah, Enigma is on a flank. He's coming around from the east side now. So now Spaceforce has enemies everywhere, but driver of car will pick up the kill onto Enigma, and then his position, of course, given away. Traden finds the refrag on the center burning area.
It's going to come down to Destructor on Spaceforce in this 1v3. The smokes are out, but they are dissipating quickly, so he won't have that coverage that he does have out there. Three minutes left for Destructor to work something out here. Seems like he's going to opt for the west rotation. I think the other way would have been better. I think coming in from the east, he might have had a little bit more success. He may have been able to cross that street and get up into that rubble. Wins the Burning Building trade, he can take Burning Building, and that's definitely a good spot to be in.
Yeah, it sure is. This is about his only option. I'm going to see... I'm going to call. He's going to go for a nice little peek and prod here. I'm hoping, trying to get those picks, move, relocate. He's not going to have very many options, unfortunately, because once he shoots, if he doesn't stay where he is, the offense, if they've noticed his direction of travel, they're going to kind of know where to watch next for him to poke out. He doesn't really have the time available to run around and just deal with it as he wants, but it doesn't matter because Raz will find Destructor, and the 5 Horsemen will find their second round here and keep things interesting on map 1.
Definitely get a little concerned when you see Spaceforce taking a couple of rounds in a row there. You know, momentum's a big thing for an experienced team. And not to say that the 5 Horsemen aren't experienced players, but they definitely, you know, have only played 2 games as the 5 Horsemen together this season. So the teamwork obviously not as honed in as a squad that's been around for a few seasons. And regardless, they are doing pretty well against Space Force. They got a tall order ahead of them, though.
Yeah, they sure do, NightFiree. Space Force here looking to pick up that easy map win now, or the easier option, I guess we should call it.
Yeah.
With their defensive round win here, they close the map out, they move on to the next one, which of course is going to be the 5 Horsemen's pick, so that should be able to hopefully make things interesting. Otherwise, yeah, you're right, Horsemen are going to have to come back with 2 more unanswered to be able to take the round. I would like to see it maybe even at least pull the 1 and we go to that final round for the first map just to get things interesting here on map 1 and really build up for the second, but we'll just have to find out, I guess.
Been a good series regardless. A good bit of back and forth here. You got to be thinking cap if you're a Horseman here, because taking a kills round on Space Force is gonna be, I think, the harder option. Granted, this objective, I don't know. This objective is not exactly easy to cap on either. We've seen it happen a couple of times against the wall, but I mean, really, how many times have you seen this objective get capped?
Not very many.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of the fewer ones we've seen. I mean, we've seen quite a few caps on it still, don't get me wrong, but I mean, you and I have watched a lot of NightFiree. A lot of NightFiree. We've watched a lot of NightFiree together, Onward. No, we've watched a lot on Onward together, NightFiree, and I know between the 2 of us, we've definitely seen a lot of caps here, but still, in comparison to other objectives, especially that tank objective on the other side of the map, not quite as many here.
See exactly how Space Force opts to defend this objective. Round number 6 underway.
Well, there's still a lot of communication coming out from the side of the 5 Horsemen there as they left their spawn. A lot of decisions about how they wanted to finally go about this execution. It sounds like they did decide on a 3-3-1 approach, as you can also see on your mini-map. Space Force with a bit of a widespread defense. They're really trying to catch the offense out early here, it looks like. You got that one member way up in the north by the white truck, Lionheart. He's going to have all kinds of quick access, but if he's not careful, he's going to get caught up by Dr. Sean here very soon.
Yeah, he's getting real casual behind this truck, and Sean is just charging over.
Sean
think
just
he
saw
spotted him. Yep.
He did. Yeah. He's like, hey, seeing you there.
Wow, Lionheart was not expecting that at all. A really fast
Not in
rotation.
the slightest. Well, and already we see what was a very aggressive defense from the side of Space Force, trying to catch out, you know, these exact routes early on does not work, as Dr. Sean the Ninja, Dr. Ninja Sean, snuck right on up there. And I love how slowly he kind of like slid back around the corner. He's like, oh, hey there.
Driver of car sitting patiently behind rubble, waiting for the angle onto Traden, tucked in behind the L gap there. As soon as he peeks out, he may be trouble.
Ooh, Driver may be in trouble if Box Toys decides to just peek a little bit more. Driver might have just seen that push.
It's a lot on Driver's shoulders right now with his defensive position and this three-man squad in the center. If he goes down and they lose
Box
Burning,
Toys.
Nade just barely misses, they'll be in trouble.
Ooh, shots ring out towards Diesel. No connections yet, and there's Box Toys with the final kill. A nice flash comes over from Driver of car. They're out in the center. Looks like Box Toys going to wind up for a toss of his own. Not quite going to go where you wanted it, though. Box Toys, we're gonna put you into the gym, bro. Get you pumping that iron. You gotta get those grenades over. No, I'm just messing with you, bud. But Traden will pop out and find Driver of car with a wonderful headshot there in the center. 5 Horsemen looking good here. They got 3 minutes left. Spaceforce got a lot to worry about here as they try and defend. This could have been map point. Now it looks like 5 Horsemen could be taking us to map point.
Two v5 right now, and Dr. Sean, I mean, yeah, maybe map point, but they only have one defender now on objective. A cap has got to be something on their mind.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. This could be a 5 Horseman comeback for a underdog map steal.
Yeah.
If they take map 1 away from Spaceforce, whose map pick it was, and then go onto their own map, that could be them pushing to close the series quickly. But no, Enigma not going to take any risks.
Yeah.
He's going to take the kill on the snake bite. A nice headshot. And the 5 Horsemen take their round, tie things up here 3-3.
Definitely the safe route to go, secure that round. Now they get to go onto the Volk defense, and we'll take a quick look at where the objective is. It is going to be burning rubble there. So one that we've seen capped on more often than not, I would say, honestly. So they're going to have to be careful.
Yeah, Spaceforce just walked themselves right into a real tough spot. Now they got to get the map point win on offense. It's not fun, NightFiree. It's not the way I like to have to win my matches. Well, take this time here in between this last and final break between rounds on our first map to thank everyone for coming out. We do appreciate you guys and gals and folks, people, humans out there for stopping in. Pets too, if your pets are watching. I don't know, they might be watching out there. Of course, you see Spaceforce versus 5 Horsemen is who we have today, but of course we do appreciate you, the viewers at home. If you're not already, subscribe to the channel, give us a follow. Twitch Prime, of course, gives you that 1 free monthly subscription. And then, of course, if you want to check out what the Onward Master League is, you can always head over to the website at vrmasterleague.com/onward. You can get all the newest news. You can get lowdown info on your favorite teams, players, all of that. You can join the league. You can create a team, all of that, become a caster, and more. Follow all the various social media sites and all of that. But it sounds like we are going to be rolling into our very final round here on Quarantine. Spaceforce on the attack. They've put themselves in a box between a rock and a hard place. NightFiree, what do you think? Can they do it? Will they be able to pull it off? 6 minutes, find out.
I don't know. The Horsemen have been a little bit inconsistent, honestly, and I think that comes from being a relatively fresh team. You know, they still are getting used to going up against a squad that is gold tiered like Spaceforce, so they're definitely getting tested, and we'll see if they can continue to adapt and approach this defensive round properly, because right now I think they have the right approach.
Look at the difference in the defensive plans for the two teams. We saw Spaceforce get hecka aggressive on their defensive round, and then now Spaceforce, or the 5 Horsemen, just locking it down tight. They're like, not happening.
Box Toys has his eyes trained on the Hummer there. waiting for anybody to try and peek out around that lane. Shots coming in from Dr. Sean. He catches one trying to cross the North Street.
-1 north of mall. I'm going to relocate.
And things already looking good for the 5 Horsemen. That pick will, of course, just only barely give the edge to the 5 Horsemen, but they do kind of inherently hold a tad bit of an advantage, just being the fact that they're on defense anyways. Frag going to come out over the center from Snakebite there, but just not quite far enough.
Yikes, shots coming in from Sean from that second story, and he's fortunate enough to duck behind the pole and use the wall for cover now, as he does stay safe. He was real lucky those shots didn't tag him. Where is their 5th? Oh, he's way over there on the south, on the planeway.
Yeah, and he's about to get some juicy picks. And there's the first one. Enigma finds Snakebite from off the south plane wing, but that's going to alert Spaceforce. They're definitely going to be aware that he's there, but oh, nope, never mind. They're just going to run out in the open right past him. Oh, for now they're safe, but the second they choose to move, or even if they slide out too far, old Enigma here is going to have line of sight on it, and he's just waiting.
I don't think Enigma's aware of the one that did rotate to his right, though, over on the east. So if he peeks up too hard, his head's going to be exposed. And a shot just does go off there, but misses Enigma, so now he's aware.
Yeah, too much pressure on Enigma now. I think he's going to decide to come down. A Destructor will actually be able to get the res onto Snakebite because of all the pressure. Enigma having to rotate off. That doesn't say anything, though. Spaceforce still down a man here on the map. They've got 3 minutes left, but now they are definitely not down a man as Driver of Car picks up that nice headshot onto Trayton.
You know, they have a really weak front covering here of the rubble. If these smokes are effective and deny vision, a cap is definitely in the cards for Spaceforce if they can also take out Box Toys, who's really the sole defender of objective right now.
And the pressure is on. The defense is trying to rotate a man back, so I do applaud them for not sitting back on their heels and waiting for Box Toys to die before rotating their remaining members back. Dr. Sean's watching for anyone who might poke that northern exit from the tank courtyard. You've got Raz on the other side. Dr. Sean will find a pick onto Destructor. Things evening out now. Driver of Car will find a pick onto Box Toys, and now the push is on for the objective. Driver of Car is in range. Raz should see it. Does he see that on the pop out? No, he's going to run across the street. This is definitely going to be a kill for Spaceforce, and there it is. Dr. Sean's all by himself. He's got 3 members of Spaceforce swarming around him like sharks. Snakebite is going to go for the cap. They're going to go for the 5-3. Will it work? He's going to drop a smoke right as he comes out. The pad is out, and no, Dr. Sean will be taken down by Driver of Car, and instead Spaceforce take the win. 4-3 here on map number 1.
What an unreal week this has been for Onward. Just non-stop good games on the channels today. I mean,
this season has been amazing for Onward play. Let's be real. Like, season 8 has been one of the best for not only like unique and unorthodox plays, but like super high profile, like Hollywood style clip plays. I mean, and then also the funny, goofy stuff like what we saw earlier with that whole like run inside and stand in front of your enemy and try and cap thing. Whew, but man, what an excellent end to that map, NightFiree. Wow.
Yeah, that's how you like to see things go down.
Sure enough.
And, I mean, to Horseman's credit, this is their placement match. This is their 3rd placement match, and they're going up against a squad like Spaceforce that is a gold-tiered team. So to go 4-3, that's not bad. You know, I think that's still going to ultimately probably help them in the long run that they kept it close here. Now we go to Bazaar. So this is their map pick. You know, they kept it close on Quarantine, which was Spaceforce's map pick. Maybe now they can grab this map and push it to a best of 3.
Yeah, now I'm not going to say that it'll be easy for them, for sure, because, I mean, Bazaar is just kind of one of those popular league matches, so the chances that Spaceforce have played it quite a lot already is pretty high. I mean, and some of those players have come from other teams prior to Spaceforce, so even higher chances they've played a lot of Bazaar. So it's definitely not going to be easy, but maybe the 5 Horsemen think they've got what it takes to just topple Spaceforce here.
Bazaar is going to be our next map, where we'll be headed. 5 Horsemen deciding that. And on the roster side, no subs coming in. For 5 Horsemen, we have Enigma, Trade, and Dr. Sean Raz and Box Toys. And on Spaceforce, we got Diesel, Snakebite, Lionheart, Destructor, and Driver of Car.
Yeah, so it doesn't appear to be any substitutions coming in for the map swap.
I wonder what sort of pacing we're going to have.
Yeah, I was just wondering that same thing after I mentioned how disoriented I just made myself on the map by doing something. I don't know what I did to do it, but like I was flying around. I was like, "Where am I? I don't like this. I don't know where I am." But yeah, no, yeah, I'm wondering that too, because Bazaar can definitely lend to some aggression. You know what I mean? Like you could really utilize some aggression to get yourself. Not necessarily through the whole round right away, because we do know that it works for some spots, but not all. But the most important thing is you can use it to really grab as much real estate as you can, as long as you know what you're doing or where you can go and where you shouldn't go if you're going to try and rush forward. So we'll hopefully see some of that. The first objective, I think, will give us a pretty good inkling of what our pacing should look like, NightFiree. It's a good one, I think, that's balanced, where you could go at it super fast, to go for the whole thing right up front, or you could use it to get in position like we talked about, or you could play it slow and, wait for every team member to get into position around the objective and strike in a noose, tightening that noose up little by little. But yeah, we'll see soon enough. We'll see what happens this first objective down towards the south of the map by the Humvee. Always a good one for some action.
I was just thinking about this. Sometimes you don't see a lot of innovation, and it's because that risk reward can be so high in these league matches. The 5 Horsemen, you got to wonder if they had not opted to do that kind of Wild West investment with that one defensive round. They could have taken the series if they had won one extra round. So I feel like it's pretty hard to be an innovative team and do it effectively. It's definitely a challenge, and when teams are able to bring out new strategies that work well, I think that's why we get so surprised when we see something new, because the meta is the meta. What works, works, and you see that repeated pretty frequently. So because it's a game of skill, it kind of requires you to do things over and over again. But the innovation stuff, that doesn't happen too often. I wonder if we'll see 5 Horsemen do something innovative on defensive again on Bazaar. We don't have to wait.
Nope. Sure don't.
Well, I guess we'll have to wait around to see what 5 Horsemen are going to do on defense. But Spaceforce...
Oh, sorry about that. That was a complete accident. My fault. Did not mean to punch you in the ear, NightFiree.
Punched everybody in the ear, Sleepy.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Sorry, folks.
He just hates you. I don't know what to say.
It's a problem with a boom mic over a headset mic, like for broadcasting. You don't know what to do with your hands, because if you move them too fast, you might smack something.
Well, looks like we're going to see a fast push from the Horsemen. They're trying to dump out the 5 smokes on this lane, allowing them to cross. Not really a lot of coverage from Spaceforce, though.
Ooh, man, they are playing the fast and aggression. Dr. Sean makes his way up, but he does get taken down. Enigma going to be a little bit more cautious now after that happens. Box Toys right there behind him. They better not bunch up too much. A nice nade here. Enigma's going to see Driver on the rotation. Now the pressure's coming in. Will they be able to catch anything? The entire defense is basically rotated to look this way. Snakebite to find one now.
Under 5-minute push there to get across the street does cost them 2, but they're in position to do something. Raz and Enigma have some interesting angles as Raz catches Snakebite. Line of Heart has no idea where he is from those silent shots, and Raz grabs a double.
Nice play there from Raz. I really thought Driver was going to be able to pop around that corner. Or not Driver, but Lionheart was going to be able to pop around that corner and get that. You better be careful, though, because now he's got Diesel's attention with those double taps. Ooh. Good thing Diesel shot there, because I don't think Raz was going to be ready for it. And Diesel finds a nice headshot through the window.
Through 2 windows. Threads the needle there. Some nice shots onto him, but Enigma able to find the refrag. Diesel getting a little carried away as he tried to rotate. And now we're into a 2v2. The fast push from Horseman might pay off.
Yeah, it really might. And they've done well with kind of countering as Spaceforce have kind of shut it down systematically throughout its stages. Like they got 1 kill on the initial push up with Dr. Sean. Then they picked that one, which Raz was able to get a wonderful kind of double refrag on. Now they're sitting in this position where everything's tied up. There's still 4 minutes left, NightFiree. This is like complete contrast to what we saw on Quarantine. I mean, they'd still be, half the map away if this were Quarantine still, if comparing the pacing from the 2 maps.
Wow, Traden still has utility? Is that a nade? Yeah, looks like it. Luckily, Destructor backed off into the corner there, safe from that. Surprised to see any utility this late in the push, though, especially since we saw about 10 smokes on that lane crossing.
Traden now pushing his way across the street. He is checking for the blue room. He's definitely aware, of a common defensive positioning for a lot of teams as far as this objective is concerned, especially. He's going to take the normal route, though, not pushing through the front door. Driver's making a lot of motion inside. Traden's definitely going to hear this as he's going to go for the drop around Turner shot. Turnaround jumper. The fadeaway!
Both of them are in a position to strike driver of car together. I wonder if they're aware. I wonder if Traden knows Enigma's down there. Hopefully not a team kill that results here. Yes, he did just check. So he's aware.
And driver, Enigma, the tension, you can cut it with a knife.
Oh,
and that pop out. Jesus.
Whoa, the fast push from Traden, though. He's got control of objective room. He forces the move from Destructor and down.
Impressive stuff there.
Goes the defense from Spaceforce. The 5 Horsemen take the first round on Bazaar and take their Marsoc round. 1-0.
I gotta be honest, my jaw was hanging open there. That was a great play. I mean, it definitely, obviously didn't work out so well for Enigma, but wow, Traden to just jump on that right away, find that pick, and then be so conscious of the rotation that would be coming in from, I believe it was Destructor. Yeah, and my goodness, just to land those shots as quickly and accurately as he did to shut that down and still clinch the round for his team on Marsoc. 5 Horsemen definitely knew what they were doing picking into this map. Let's see how they do it now on defense as we swap sides here on the same objective.
Yeah, we saw not anything new, but something you don't get to see very often. The heavy push with smokes across the street there right away. No time wasted. They charged across the street there, and they honestly adjusted nicely. After getting kind of denied, they sent another on the to cover the middle, and ultimately their plan of slowly whittling away the defense pays off. I wonder if they're going to show some aggression on defense here. I mean, what kind of aggression can you show, though? On this objective, it's kind of hard, I suppose.
I guess you could just have kind of more aggressive positioning on defense. The only real aggression I could say you could throw out on defense would be to send like a hard flank, like just somebody out there looking for trouble. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like that's, well, yeah, the east definitely. Unless they go east and then you just send them west. Just send a counter, and it takes a little longer for them to get there. But usually they'll be able to come around behind 2 or 3 of them before they get caught out.
Round number 2 of map 2. 5 Horsemen in a must-win scenario if they want to take this to a game 3. And they got the lead, so they're off to a good start.
And they sure do. Let's see how Spaceforce feels about losing that first round. Yeah. See if they want to bring it on back. Bring it on back.
Spaceforce definitely opting to play things a bit slower here than the Horseman did, although they have 5 minutes left on the clock and they are in a position to attack, where Lionheart is at the very least. What an interesting defensive setup from the 5 Horsemen.
Yeah, it's a literal box defense. No? Okay. Yeah, I think Space Force is in a good spot here. I personally wish that their east and west guys were across the street already. I think that would make me feel a little more comfortable about their push right now. Because right now they still have a lot to get done in getting those two across the street, but it sounds like now is the time the smokes will start to come out. But it looks like that one could be a distraction smoke to get the attention from the defenders, maybe draw them into a firing position that could be kind of counter-attackable. No, the push is in now. Lionheart's made his way across the street, and that was an interesting little two-handed smoke throw there. Just put him right in the wall. He finds one on Box Toys, right on the objective. Now he's in a good position. He could actually just sit here once everything calms back down again, and then they can just kind of shake things off, catch their breath again, kind of focus up and re-attack.
Yeah, yikes. A big yikes on the Horseman's defense right now. They are really relying heavily on Trayden to hold this as he does start to get pushed by Lionheart. Shots coming in. Lionheart peeks the corner. Down goes Trayden. Objectives open for a cap. Raz has to push and deny this, but Lionheart's going to be punching it in, and Raz realizes it. Can he get there in time?
He can. He's going to.
Ooh, just barely denies the cap. He goes down quickly, though. The push isn't done.
No, driver of car will find Raz there to take him out. Enigma puts shots out to driver of car, slowing him down, and now they've got to get a body in the building. They do not want to risk leaving someone out here. Driver's still going to be trying to put pressure on him. Where did that third member of the attack? Oh, he's still far in the west. He hasn't come through.
Man,
he needs to double time it.
Yeah, they could have used
he needs
him.
to double. Fudge sickles. Well, the push isn't over yet. They could definitely wait it out and let him catch up a bit, because the defense is down to threads here as Enigma and Dr. Sean try and hold it off. 2 minutes, 30 seconds just about on the clock. We got a long time left in the round. Space Force have a lot of time to be able to still do something here with it. Driver of car Diesel are trying to find Enigma, but he is staying tucked in. He's like,
he's gotta.
Not today.
Ooh, yeah, I'm curious on Dr. Sean position. I suppose he's a little bit concerned about Destructor flanking them, but I think they just really need another pair of eyes over here by objective. Look at all these corpses. It looks like Enigma's trying to hide inside the dead bodies of his teammates.
I mean, whatever. I guess if it gets you that edge.
Nobody screenshot this one because it's definitely not family friendly.
You should.
Would that body take bullets?
That's a good question. I think they do.
I feel like they do too, but I really don't think anybody's really tried to. It's inconsistent.
Like I've seen people use it successfully. Yeah, if anything, I don't know if I can answer it because I feel it's been inconsistent in the times I've seen people try and use it as cover. Meanwhile, a minute has ticked away since the last shots were fired and the last real aggression was made. Just under a minute now left. Space Force is going to try and just, I guess, inch their way up. I mean, they can cap this from outside the building, so if Dr. Sean doesn't look at the outside, this could technically be a cap even with Enigma watching and being inside. But he better start kind of inching his way up a little quicker if he wants to have time to do that. Diesel's going to get aggressive off the shots. He goes in. He does find Enigma, and Dr. Sean goes down from Destructor. Space Force answer back with a Marsoc round of their own, and instead of trading Volk rounds, we'll trade Marsoc. We'll trade Marsocs.
No, they're my socks.
No, they're Marsocs. No, they're more socks, NightFiree. You give me back my socks now.
Oh, yikes. But true to the first map, things are staying close, 1-1 in Bazaar. What's our next objective? Oh, we're going to be very dependent on those spawns. If 5 Horsemen get that fast spawn, I'd love to see a quick push towards the OBJ for a cap.
I would too, NightFiree. I want to see more of that aggression we saw in round 1. I just want to see that overall all the time, all day, every day. I just want to be like edging towards the edge of my seat until the point where I don't realize it and I fall off because I'm so excited at what I'm watching. But this objective always lends for some great plays, in my opinion. It really tests the offense, especially as to where they commit their resources, how they commit to attacking. I remember talking about it a bit. I think it was with you last week about the importance of being able to get those attackers around to the east side so that they can help provide support. And then basically we watched exactly why I said they should have that happen, because they pulled them away once one member had died. So it was really interesting, and I love seeing how teams attack this and how they utilize their various tactics to get in and out.
Oof, what a action-packed bout, though. I think both squads taking that full time between rounds to catch their breath, hash out some sort of strategy. It's been a lot of crouching and crawling, so I imagine both teams' players are getting a little bit sweaty right about now as we dive into round 3 of map number 2. And they get the long spawn, so no fast moves from Horseman.
Crouching Tiger hidden onward, am I right, NightFiree?
Well, I don't want it to be hidden.
Hold your horses.
I want everybody to know about Onward.
Everybody and a mama. 5 Horsemen definitely still using some aggression. They're pushing their way up. They're not being reckless about it at all. They did get the slower spawn, so obviously the defense has had time to set. But they are going to try and gain as much of that real estate towards the objective as they can without losing so much time, because if you waste that time moving, then you don't have enough time for attacking. And, well, exactly. And I mean, last time that aggression really paid off in the end.
Box Toys and Raz gonna make their way into the Kayat area and try and take control of that. Definitely gonna be the first step into preparing for the objective push.
Honestly, with this angle, if they take it slow enough, they'll definitely be able to catch Diesel out in his very exposed position. I mean, it's a good counter position to be able to stop the cross there as folks head into those entrances of the buildings on the eastern side of on the western side of that marketplace. But he's so exposed that if he doesn't hear the attackers approaching, they're just going to melt him from that north side. And I mean, Box Toys is already kind of looking that way, but he's not going to see him until he actually comes around that corner.
Ooh, Dr. Sean is actually going to be the one to take down Diesel, because Diesel gets a little overzealous. I think he was going to go for the peek onto Raz.
Oh, nice pick there from Dr. Sean. Definitely not where I expected the shots to come from, that's for sure. 5 Horsemen really showing us we don't know much about nothing. NightFiree.
I guess.
I mean, that's what we were talking about, these newer teams bringing in those interesting change-ups, and, well, it's working.
Well, yeah, definitely. They're putting up a good fight against Spaceforce as a new team, and that's something to be pretty dang proud of. not new players, always important to
No.
remember, but
Yeah.
we talk a lot about team coordination and team synergy, and that doesn't just come from being skilled at the game. It comes from playing together and having that team coordination. So we're seeing this Five Horsemen team definitely be a threat that I think some other teams are going to have to watch out for as the push starts to go underway.
You're right. They're knocking on the door. Snakebite's going to be the first obstacle, though. Dr. Sean, he's approaching the corner. Is he going to check? Of course he's going to check because he's not new here. He's not new on this block. Is he going to...
Yeah, he's going to not check the full angle. Does get shot in the back by Snakebite as Lionheart also grabbed one as well on the north. He's now being pinned by Boxtoys.
Or is he?
Yeah, not anymore.
Lionheart popping out there to find the kill onto Boxtoys. And now it is just a 2v4 for the Five Horsemen. They still have 2.5 minutes, though. They're right outside, so no need to rush or panic. They've got plenty of time. They just need to be able to kind of thin the herd a little bit in order to effectively attack. Honestly, if they could get Lionheart knocked out of the way, a couple of smokes, they could really get in there and still cap with the 3 remaining members on the board.
Wonder what the Horsemen's approach is now. Smokes are gone. They got 2 minutes on the clock, and I would say if they're going to stick to a script, might see them wait till a minute to push, but the Horsemen haven't really been waiting out the time as much as Spaceforce have.
Lionheart will find another one onto Enigma, and that'll be it. It'll be just down to Raz. 1 minute, 38 seconds left, and he's in the middle of the Hornet's nest. Ooh, Raz just barely gets himself out of the way as Lionheart decides to take the aggressive peek.
They got to know he's here, though, because I'm sure Snakebite heard that. I think he radioed it in. But that is one less person on objective for Raz to have to deal with.
Make a move, you're surrounded, they know you're there.
He said, he's...
Wow, Raz couldn't get Snakebite in the corner. A team kill comes out from Destructor, and Snakebite pushes the objective. Sorry, excuse me, pushes Raz and finds the kill.
Snakebite told him, he said, you can move. They know you're surrounded. They know you're there. Oh, excellent stuff, man. Some great stuff there. Some great little banter going back and forth from Spaceforce and the Five Horsemen, as it should be, because this match has been so back and forth. Spaceforce, though, taking the advantage here on the map for the first time. They did go down initially as the Five Horsemen were able to complete their first attack. This time, not so much. So now we'll see if the Five Horsemen can do the same. Woo! It has been an onward-packed day, and that just continues tenfold tomorrow. We have a lot of casts coming at you tomorrow. Matter of fact, while we have a bit of a moment here, I will actually pull up the page and we'll go over those together, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow's matches for Sunday, September 8th, 2019. Tomorrow's casted matches, I should say. Starting at 11:30 a.m. Pacific Domestic Time, or Pacific Daylight Time on Onward Master League 2, you can find Trip casting Pacifist versus Vikings. Then 30 minutes later, at noon Pacific Standard Time, so that's 3 Eastern, and I'm not able to do the UTC conversion that fast. You can find me here on Onward Master League 1, casting Boss Fight versus Beginners. Huge EU bout. Should be a good one, so hopefully everyone will come out for that. Then later in the afternoon, it looks like Trip has picked up on Onward Master League 2, the Blaze versus Globochem match. That'll start at 6 p.m. Pacific Time, so that'll be 9 p.m. Eastern, and do the math, UTC. And then I will be covering the G-Men Danglers game on OML 1 at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And that will wrap up the week. But Jesus. I want you at home, if you know the league, if you know the website, go to the website right now, go to the matches page and just scroll down to the bottom and just look at all the casts that have happened, not only this season, but just in general lately. Our coverage has been through the roof. So I want to take this time not only to say thank you to all you viewers for coming out and supporting the casters, but a huge thank you to all of our casters, both new and veteran. You guys have been doing amazing work. Our coverage has been fantastic, and I am super proud of you. So big shout out to everyone. We've got the next round going to be getting kicked off here. Not sure NightFiree has made it back yet from his little break.
I didn't unmute myself, but yeah, we're watching. We are into the action round 4 of map number 2.
We'll get there. That's a lot of math.
I hear somebody send a bizarre.
So many numbers in my head right there.
Definitely a different pacing once again, though, coming out from Spaceforce. Not slow. I mean, they're still also getting their real estate, that's for sure. They've chosen to take more of that eastern real estate, though, instead of pushing straight in from the west.
Ooh, and Boxtoys catches one trying to cross. As a nade does come out. He can't get out far enough to throw where I think he wanted to throw it. There's a lot of suppression from Destructor right now on that doorway. Lionheart's debating going in and charging the corner on the Boxtoys. Nobody from the east is really covering, so Lion does have this option here. Boxtoys checks his clock, and Lionheart just misses the shot. There is the headshot for Lion, and Horseman into a 4v4. Look at this. 3 stacked in the center. Lionheart, Snakebite, and Diesel all slowly moving into position. Raz does have eyes on the gap that they're going to have to cross, so he's going to be the first line of defense for the Horseman.
Yeah, if Snakebite doesn't cross this quickly, Raz will probably be able to get those shots in. If not, he'll at least be able to identify the cross and let Enigma and Dr. Sean, the kind of the first lines of defense in the West, know that this team is getting ready to strike. And we may be seeing our first strike here as Diesel trying to angle on Enigma. Ooh, but he's motioned to his team to a different location. Now I'm not sure he's going to be ready. Will he be ready to check Enigma's spot now?
No, he's not ready for Enigma. And Enigma, 1 shot to the back. 2 to confirm Diesel. Lionheart's going to get aggressive, and he doesn't know Enigma's there either.
Wow. He's going to call that in. Go for the reload. Snakebite's going to come around reaching, but it's not going to work. Enigma's going to snag him too. And the 5 Horsemen going to be cleaning things up. Now it's all up to Destructor, who's putting shots into the eastern hallway. He's trying to make his way in. I don't know. This could still work out. That room is very handy at being able to take out defenders in this courtyard. But Raz will be the first one he's got to deal with, and he's going to be difficult as he's tucked around outside the corner. Here comes the peek. He does see him. The trade comes out, but since Destructor's the only one left for Spaceforce, Horsemen pick up their second point, and we're back to a tie here on map 2.
Wow. Interesting bit of trading going on in the round and of rounds, as we are now tied up 2-2. This whole series just so back and forth.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch. What more can I say?
It has been, and I mean, some really stellar plays, some funny stuff happening.
Oh, yeah. Really
some
awkward
close call
stuff.
caps. Yeah, super awkward stuff. Some really great plays, some close cap attempts. I mean, yeah, we've had a little bit of everything. I think the one thing we really haven't quite had yet was some really stellar grenade kills.
Yeah.
And then I think this would be about a well-balanced Onward breakfast.
For your Saturday night viewing.
Yeah, it's Brenner. It's fine. It's already like getting close to midnight for the East Coast, so it's like
Sleepy's the cool dad that lets you have pancakes for dinner.
hell yeah, dude.
You're welcome, everybody.
You want to eat dinner for breakfast and breakfast for dinner? That's fine. Don't need to match social norms. No, I'm just kidding. That's a weird thing to say, but I mean, yeah, I'm not against having breakfast for dinner. It's cool to do every once in a while. What's wrong with that? You know what I mean?
I absolutely agree. We're serving up a hearty platter of an Onward breakfast for you tonight.
Yeah. Lots of meaty Onward in our breakfast. None of that veggie, kale, keto, gluten-free stuff here. We're full fat, full salt, and ready to rock and roll, baby, as we go in here. It's map 2. It's round 5. Who's going to take it? Will 5 Horsemen be able to find a cap here on the Kiot building with an interesting strategy, or will Spaceforce be able to hold them off one more round and go on to an attack to try and seal the deal here for map 2?
Map 2.
Sunday. Come check out map 2.
Pretty standard D. No one going up to the star fountain, interestingly. Usually you see somebody up there to cover the objective. Instead, Diesel going to go for a bit of a riskier option, opting to hide behind the wood and peek through it so he can get an angle on anybody that decides to push up through the center. In the meantime, Horsemen have sent Raz east. They have Enigma center, who's now taking shots up into that 2-story.
Yeah, he sees Destructor. I think he sees the elbow of Destructor. Destructor better be careful. And the 5 Horsemen better be careful as that kill comes out from Snakebite onto Dr. Sean, shutting down a part of the East push already. And I guarantee you it's going to slow up or change the pacing of that push from the 5 Horsemen.
Yeah, trade-in and box toys. They were moving pretty quickly to the north, but as soon as those shots went out, they stopped and refocused their attention into this mini bazaar. They don't want to get flanked. And now this cross is going to be dangerous with Lionheart there holding that angle. Indeed, I'm sure that's what Spaceforce is thinking as well. 3:30 on the clock. Not a lot of shots have gone out. Trade-in not throwing that nade as far as he wanted. A Snakebite catches out another, and Lionheart quickly peeks and grabs Trade-in, punishing him for not throwing the nade far enough. Spaceforce into a 5v2.
The brothers team of Lionheart and Snakebite are absolutely ridiculous. Can I just say that?
Yeah, it's been quite effective this round, that's for sure.
But well, that push was definitely seen, but Enigma makes his way across on the south street. The other remaining member of the 5 Horsemen push, Raz, is making his way in as well from the northeast. But it's going to be very, very difficult for these two to get in there. I think their best option now is almost stealth. Like, try and go for the ninja cap. And then if you die, you die, right? It's pretty likely you're going to die anyways in this 2v5 scenario with the defense just stackpiled on top of the objective.
The slow push from 5 Horsemen, something we haven't really seen much of out of them, is underway as Snakebite catches out Enigma. I think that's his 4th kill over there on that side, so he's almost got the full squad wipe. He'd have to rotate back towards objective to take out Raz, but can Raz do anything here? He'd maybe take Diesel out and sneak in a cap?
Maybe. But Destructor's close enough, he'll hear the shots. They'll definitely see that Diesel's been taken down, so they'll definitely we'll see a heavy rotation come in from that eastern side if that happens, but yeah, I'm not sure. Again, this is his best option to try and go in quiet. He hears the movements from Destructor now. He's waiting on the push out. He does find it. That's one pick. This could be the rotation, though, from Lionheart, which will catch Raz in the back. Yep, and here it comes now, just as he turns away. Snakebites run in. He's looking outside. He's on the patio. No sight lines. Now they're rushing for him.
They just missed him.
They better be careful because doing this could end up getting them killed as well. Here comes Snakebite. Raz finds him as well. This is exactly what I'm talking about. I've said it for the last 3 weeks. Defenses cannot rush at attackers like this when they're in this situation. Especially not single file. If you wanted to bring the whole gang, sure, there's no way they could counter that. But running at them single file like that, noisy as all get out, is not going to get you anything. Lionheart goes upstairs. Raz going to use this moment to push in, but Diesel's going to be there and waiting. Spaceforce grab their 3rd round and take the lead once again here on map 2.
So back and forth. One team can just not seem to stack up a two rounds in a row. We'll see if Spaceforce can do that as they go into Marsoc next round, looking at series point.
Woo! My goodness. Things are out of control here, NightFiree.
You know, I knew some people wouldn't like your idea of a nice breakfast.
Who doesn't like my idea of a nice
I
breakfast?
see some puking in there in the chat. Not everybody likes that, alright, Sleepy? And the salt. But I do, so make sure you include that in my breakfast.
You know what,
but for everybody else, make sure you just...
You know what? You know what else people seem to have trouble with in the chat, NightFiree?
I know, I already fixed it.
Okay. Just making sure. Oh, I thought I had something on you. Touche. Touche. But while you were gone, I was just kind of going over, like, all the coverage we've had, not only this week, but just this season, man. It's been intense. Like, all the new guys coming in, and then the veteran guys, you know, just keeping up their consistent coverage. We've just had an amazing Season 8 so far, and it's only looking to continue from here. See Dockin in the chat on this late night action. Thanks for stopping in, big buddy.
Round number 6 of map 2 has begun. Spaceforce looking at a series point here. If they can grab this one, they'll take the second map. and deny 5 Horsemen the ability to take it to a final best of 3 as Traden takes some fire early. Fortunate not to go down right away. Very heavy suppressive fire does allow the entirety of Spaceforce to cross over to the west side.
That LMG fire like put me in a trance. I was just like staring into space at my screen while that was happening. I don't know what the heck just happened to me.
He got suppressed.
I got suppressed in the casting cam. That's interesting. Thank goodness there wasn't any vignette. I'd flown into a tree or something. Oh, smack.
Raz is trying to do what?
He accomplished what he wants to do.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think that was Snakebite's position that he did so he worked so well there. Got 4 kills last round. Raz may be able to find some similar success. Snakebite and Lionheart are here in this mini courtyard.
Yeah, but he better find the back one first because that's going to be the one with the angle on him. Nice nade right between the two should take them both down, but he will go for the kill on the back one, and Raz finds his second on Snakebite using Snakebite's position, basically.
Oh, isn't ready for Lionheart to take the shots through the window, though, and a nice refrag from Lion does turn things into a 4v3. Horseman looking good on the defense, though, right now. They do have the advantage.
Yeah, those two great pickups there early on from Raz are going to be super helpful to the 5 Horsemen here, especially as time continues to tick away. Spaceforce down with their 3 members, but all 3 members close enough to spit on the objective pretty much. So nothing really to say. They can definitely still counter and do something here. Trading in a pretty common defensive spot. Used a lot more by the European teams I see, and then maybe like G-Men, I see Zach Fontaine liking to sit there. But trading in a pretty common spot. Surprised we don't see any check nades going out there more often on this objective from teams.
Yeah, you notice he is prone, tucked into that corner, so he's trying to limit how much of his body is actually exposed to the enemy. It's a pretty standard strat for most prone defenders to stay tucked up against a wall that doesn't expose your legs to the enemy. I wonder if this is the start of the move from Spaceforce as Lionheart deploys the first smoke.
Well, the smoke, unless he's going to move it with him, isn't quite going to give him the coverage he wants just yet, because Traden does still have a sight line on it once he breaks to go into the building itself. But he's going to opt to go and push around north. Betchy pops around looking for that defender, but he's not ready for Dr. Sean up top. Or, I'm sorry, Dr. Sean was not up top. It's a bad angle on my aim. But Box Toys will go ahead and also find Destructor, and now it's a 1v4. 2 minutes left on the clock. Diesel, I think, might try and sneak it in here.
Traden has popped the smoke, put it back on his chest, and is now two-handing the rifle. How effective that will be is the question. As Traden spots out Diesel, the smoke didn't quite do what they were hoping, and the Horsemen answer back. We're tied 3-3.
We are, but unfortunate for the Horsemen, they put themselves in a tough spot on their own map choice. It is 3-3. They have to win it on Marsoc. Not an easy task. Not the easiest of objectives to have to accomplish this task on either. If Spaceforce decides to set a rock-solid, tight boxed-in defense, this is all but over, and Spaceforce will take map 2. Woo! Thrilling stuff here. What? Oh, man. Wait, remind me again who took map 1? Did 5 Horsemen rally back? Right? Am I misremembering? NightFiree? No.
What?
Who won the first map again? I forget.
Spaceforce.
Right. Oh. Oh. That makes it even worse for the 5 Horsemen. The pressure is real. Now this is match point. The Horsemen. Or it's map clutch.
We'll see. Both sides taking the full minute and a half.
Yeah. No one rushing into this last round. Neither team wanting to risk this one. Spaceforce knows that they'll have to keep on full focus into map 3 if they lose this one. 5 Horsemen know if they lose this one, well, map 3 is just going to be about saving point spread. But fortunately for them, they have saved as much point spread as they possibly can, NightFiree. Even if they lose this series, they should be in pretty good shape for their initial ranking.
I just got flipped off by Diesel.
Seems accurate.
It's one of the great new advantages of the index.
Yeah, thanks, devs.
Yeah.
We appreciate you allowing the players to be able to voice their opinions of us spectating their matches.
Great stuff. Diesel here in a forward position for defense. He's looking for an early pick.
Isn't this how they put themselves in a hard spot in the last round? They playing out their defense, kind of aggressive on a point that mattered, and fortunately they were able to pull it back at the end. But like, this is kind of what they did before. I mean, granted, their main defense back on the objective is pretty solid, so I'm not going to harp on it too much. But
yeah, I think they're just trying to throw a wrench in the plans, which is something you don't really anticipate when you're in the round 7. Definitely risky, though. I do agree. Diesel very far forward.
NightFire's low key in his head, like, I hope he dies, flicking me off like that. JK. NightFire doesn't hold grudges.
Yeah, that's true. I hope he dies by Dr. Sean's hands. It's been a pretty long series.
Yeah. I mean, it's about an hour and
Almost 2 hours.
yeah, it's an hour and 45 at this point in time, because the lobby was pretty much set up on time. We got in, got rolling a couple minutes after maybe. So yeah, it's about an hour 45 in, and this is map 2. We still have one more in the series. Whether or not that one will matter will be up to the 5 Horsemen here, as it is on their shoulders to decide if the series is over. Oh, and they've had a drop. Or no, a UI bug.
Oh.
I think it's a drop. Yep, because Box Toys has all zeros. That is not helpful.
Not at all.
Fortunately, though, the drop did happen after the allowable reset timer, so the match does have to play, for those of you who may not be familiar with the rule set in the Onward VR Master League. So unfortunately, the drop will have to stand, and the round will stand as is, but it is an unfortunate bit of luck but it is something we have to deal with being in an online-based league.
Spaceforce now in that 5v4 advantage. Just real patiently waiting. Diesel's actually behind the offense.
Yeah, they've completely snuck around him. I mean, if things start popping off and he feels like he's safe enough to kind of rush at them, he's definitely going to be capable of doing some damage. But Dr. Sean getting taken out there. I think he was actually trying to angle to find and kill the position that Destructor's in, but unfortunately for him, Destructor was too prepared for it. And he might be ready for Enigma here as Enigma preps to cross the street towards the objective as well.
Ooh, Raz catching Destructor in a nade.
Ooh, Enigma should push off. Driver car's eyes have been averted. That was the only defender really watching the spot. Diesel's going to pop out from behind and find Raz. Now it's all up to just Enigma. Just Enigma and Traden, last two out. Traden will pop out. Or Enigma pops out. He makes his way over through the smoke, but he needs to keep pushing if he wants to get anywhere. Snakebite sitting on the objective. He's rushing out now. Enigma's going to find the pick onto Lionheart as well. The defense is rotating hard. Diesel's trying to rotate out from the side. He should be able to see Enigma at just about any point. There's the shots now. Now it's a 2v1. Spaceforce is up. 54 seconds left on the clock. Traden coming in from the backside. He might be able to catch Box Toys out. He does. Oh my God, NightFiree. We couldn't come down to it. It's going to be a last second 1v1 here as Diesel and Traden prepare to face off. Traden is ready and prepared. 38 seconds on the clock. They're inching their way in. Who's going to win this trade? Diesel's coming around the corner. And there it is. Diesel wins the trade. He takes the win for Spaceforce, and Spaceforce win the series 2-0. We will go to the third map, of course, because we do play through all three for MMR purposes here at the VR Master League. But my goodness, I thought the 5 Horsemen really had that one. Now it makes you wonder if that drop hadn't happened, NightFiree.
Yeah. Pretty unfortunate stuff for the 5 Horsemen, but reminder, this is still their placement match, so
true.
To take it 8-6 in the first 2 maps to Spaceforce is definitely not bad. I like I said, I think it's to keep it close like this is going to, you know, it'll be a decent thing for their placements. It's not going to really hurt them too badly. If they had lost hard to this gold team, I think then maybe they're looking at a different situation. But if they can maybe scrap up this next map, potentially take a point lead, they're looking at a pretty decent 3 games for their placements.
Agreed. And I mean, honestly, they've been playing quite well. Some very interesting plays, some tactics coming out from them that are definitely more unorthodox in the realm of, you know, your standard meta. But we'll see what they got for them here on this next map. I'm pretty sure we all know where we're going next.
Do we?
I did.
I don't know why you play this as your 3rd map ever. That's not a series decider.
No idea.
Yeah. This is also Spaceforce's map pick.
It sure is.
So,
maybe they want practice on it.
yeah.
Try out some new strategies against a team that's been giving them a pretty solid run for their money. So realistically, it's a good idea. In this setting, it's the best way to test it. You don't really risk anything. You've won the series, so you're still gaining MMR. I mean, you might risk how much you gain, but still pretty early. I mean, we're only about midway through the season. You've still got time to make up an average to lower than average MMR gain off of the win. Whew.
Indeed, if you are just tuning in, we're waiting for map 3 to get underway. As you can see on the scoreboard, Spaceforce taking the series in the first 2 maps, albeit very closely. It did come down to 3-3 for both maps. But it's been a fun series, and we are going to be going to Downfall for map number 3, so curious to see how exactly Horseman and Spaceforce. Horseman and Spaceforce.
Oh, the 5 Horsemen and the Spaceforce there, they're gonna go on to fight there in map A and go on to Spaceforce. They're gonna go all the way there. Hey. They brought their brooms and everything for the sweep. Full sweeps.
Sweet.
We need an energy drink sponsor, NightFiree.
I think a...
Is anyone else in good with Bang? Because I've been really enjoying their drinks lately.
energy drinks are not good for you.
Well, this one doesn't have all the like sugar and stuff. This one uses like the same things they use in like pre-workout.
Yeah, some of that stuff's also really bad for you.
Yeah, well, you know what, NightFiree?
I'm saying,
my
man.
mom.
I'm just saying that stuff isn't all it's cracked up to be. People are spouting it out and sponsoring it, but I don't think they really understand the health risks some of them are putting themselves at. I've had pre-workout. That yeah, there's something in there that's just not good for you. Either way, I know there are some healthy energy drink alternatives out there, so if anybody does have an in, reach out to Dakin or Sleepy. If you have an in for anything that you think would be interested in sponsoring the VRML, feel free to reach out to Sleepy or Dakin.
That's right. Okay, guys. You chose Downfall for map 3. It's a 2-hour series now. Let's can we get the first round started, please?
Uh-huh.
I don't want to be that guy, but
Not sure what we're waiting on.
me either.
Does look like both squads are ready. Hey, there it is.
All right. Yeah. One of them was about to have to use their penalty, or someone was about to forfeit this map, I'll tell you right now. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, I'm sure what was exactly going on there, but
Y'all in for some shit. This is gonna be good.
Oh boy.
It's gonna work this time.
yeah, they say that, and I was thinking that it was going to be a crazy push, but Sean just went into the standard defensive positions. They are sending 4 up this hill.
The rest
though.
of them aren't,
Yeah.
though. Yeah. He's just there. Sean's just there to stop the possibility of a cap if things go really bad here, which they're obviously planning on it. And Marsoc's already taken some shots. They're calling it in now, so we'll be seeing our first shots come in here. Yep, Destructor finds Enigma on the side, but Raz should be able to see Destructor at this point, or no, the hillside. Yeah, the hill's definitely blocking him. Destructor finds the second one. Things definitely going wrong here, but Raz will find the refrag onto Destructor and kind of sort of make this an effective push.
See what they do from here, how they enact a defensive position, because the rest of Space Force is south right now. They're going to really kind of completely avoid the two up onto that north hill. And if they push hard right now, they definitely have a 3-man advantage over on objective side.
Oh yeah, they could definitely just kind of just walk their way right up to the objective and overwhelm Dr. Sean there and get the cap, start this out 2-0 and really open things up. But it appears, I mean, I don't know if this is a legitimate 5 Horseman defense strategy or if they're just kind of doing some goofy stuff because it's map 3 and they've already lost the series.
I think it's
I'm assuming it's the latter, but
I think it's a combo of what you're saying. They're trying out new strats, seeing what works, trying some new stuff out. Although they're not the winning team, they're taking this time on Downfall to sample out some new strategies. That one obviously not terribly successful as Lionheart catches another, and now they're pushing on objective 3 strong.
Honestly, my best bet is to try to die, and so is yours.
I don't know if you heard Dr. Sean there. He's just radioed in that they should both die.
Okay, all right, I can try to watch this basement then.
I think we did see a rotation somewhat from Raz. He's got an angle over towards the objective.
Yep, he sure does. And oh, he had his laser right on a guy and he didn't shoot. Oh. Pros of being long distance in VR.
Yeah, the walls of Marsoc blending the Marsoc camouflage there, and he is fortunate enough to make his way past the angle, and he is going to be facing off against Sean soon.
Yeah, but I really expect backup. Snakebite's definitely not going to make this cross the way Raz is looking, but I have a sneaking suspicion Raz is going to like rotate off right as he's going to have shots on the Snakebite. No, here comes Snakebite now. There's the look. Shots ring out. Snakebite is dead. And this might actually become an effective defense.
Yeah, that angle on the hill is actually pretty dang good for anybody that's trying to cross towards objective. Diesel really lucky that he was able to get across. And now he's going to be going up against Sean, who hears footsteps. Pat comes out from Diesel. He questions it as he does. Spot Sean there, takes him down, and here comes the cap.
Yeah, it's all over but the crying here. Killing yourself from Raz would do no good. And there's the cap. 2 points up for Space Force here on map number 3.
You know, Horseman definitely trying something new there. Well, as we were saying earlier, I think if they had been able to take this map, they could have had that point lead, and I would have definitely helped a bit with their placements. Maybe they're not too terribly concerned, you know, about winning or losing this final one.
Yeah.
Because they got a ladder to climb up either way. They got to beat a bunch of teams.
And, well, a bit of a long map transition time rounder. Round time.
Say that one again.
Yeah, they didn't take a lot of time between rounds this time, okay? That's what it is. Plain out and simple. They didn't take a lot of time. Thanks for that. And here we go. Round number 2.
No time between shots either as Enigma catches out Destructor.
There's one in objective closet. I got a minus outside.
I thought we got another one too.
West red truck. It said west truck. I got a guy.
Interesting to see Horseman kicking it off so strong. Now a little trade between driver of car and whoever's up there at the north.
Dr. Shawn.
Yep, so we got two. We got one in the closet, one upstairs, probably another one in the basement.
Well, some initial aggression turns
Yeah.
into
All right, so
full
we got a
stop.
sniper with a 12.
Lionheart, though, the rusty headshot onto Dr. Shawn up north. That'll be a nice answer back to that quick pick that the 5 Horsemen were able to pick up onto Spaceforce early in the round. I think I said early like 6 times there.
Raz putting some suppressive fire down onto that second story, trying to just maybe draw the attention of driver of car.
That's terrible advice. Oh, there's one in upper red truck window.
Spaceforce over here having a good old time.
Yeah.
Lionheart also having a good time as he finds another enemy to kill with that rifle.
That's terrible advice. You're fucking me up. I'm sorry.
Space Force definitely having a good time, though. A team that is very skilled and does a pretty good job to take it to the top tier teams. Has definitely been tested by the 5 Horsemen, but now that they've gotten that 2-0 lead, they are looking at a 4v3 right now to take round number 3. They're definitely in a good mood right now.
Yeah, you gotta feel good once you've closed out the series and know that even if you botch this map completely, it doesn't matter. I mean, it won't help your MMR gain really, but it's not gonna be terrible to it either.
I'm gonna suppress him while you guys move. Take advantage of it.
Just trading shots
Yeah.
back and forth here. Get it? Trading shots back and forth here. Ha ha! And it's not trading, who's shooting. That's unfortunate. Why'd you ruin the joke, Enigma?
Yeah, so unthoughtful.
Jeez.
Trying to
I mean,
draw.
you're just shooting at random walls anyways.
Yeah, trying to draw attention while Raz begins the rotation. They also have one way over there in the south. Maybe he can do some damage if he can flank fast enough.
Yeah, he's got a motor pretty much this whole time, though, to really... Well, if...
What he's doing? He's straight sprinting at it.
Yeah, he is, but if it doesn't work, the rest of the team is nowhere near ready to back him up or go in. They've got 1 minute and 48 seconds left on the clock. It's just... I don't know. I think we're seeing a similar kind of thing to what we saw out of them from Quarantine, which is just kind of failed time management a bit.
Minute 30 left. Has inching his way just a bit closer. Traden on the backside preparing to come in, and they still have one up by their spawn at north. Just sort of suppressing.
Yeah, Enigma has not made his way down, has not really made any forward movement. Diesel will find Raz as he approaches. Traden is our man in the south. He's made his way up to the ice cream truck. He's getting in close. It's going to be possible if he takes down Snakebite and he's ready for the quick rotation off of Lionheart. He could still make this happen. The rotation from Diesel would take far too long. if Traden is a fast capper. I'm not sure exactly how fast he is at capping, though. Oh, he's going to go for the top first, and he does find it.
There's 2 in the upstairs.
Bad call out, though. Unfortunately, he gives 2 in the upstairs, when unfortunately it was just the 1. Snakebite, though, did not get overzealous and rush right out into his death. Now we've got a smoke out.
Oh.
That'll lay through the wall. That's going to be beautiful for him.
It might work against him, though. It might camouflage. Snakebite driver of car actually on the rotation catches him out. Didn't see driver drop out from his position, and now shots coming in from Diesel onto the final attacker. He takes 1 shot, but I think it's just pistol rounds coming in because I believe he's completely out of ammo.
Yeah. He suppressed so much that he's out of primary. He's now switched to his secondary, and there it is. He's run out of time as he tries to rush in. Spaceforce take their 3rd point on the map, and we go to the round winner here. Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah. Either way, Spaceforce looking a lot better on this final map. The Horseman definitely, I would say, conceding a little bit. They tried to take that objective there, but on their defensive round, you know, to try that 4-man push up on the north, definitely a little unorthodox and odd. Obviously not quite working out how they may have hoped, and they're now in a 3-0 situation.
I'm just interested to know what the hopes were for that play. Like, if that was a legitimate strategy that they were trying out, like, what does that play morph into if it's actually successful? You know what I mean? Like, we saw the rotation back from Raz on that play become actually quite the effective defensive position, but it later led to him being too far off once his teammate, Dr. Sean, was taken out. So, you know, not the greatest, but I mean, with more men up on the board, I don't know. Could have been different. But I'm still trying to decide, like, was it real or was that them just being goofy here on the last map because they're like, okay, well, it's over. Who cares, right? I'm sure I'll get some DMs later from the teams watching back to the VOD, answering my questions, being like, oh, hey, you asked this, and like, yeah, cool. I'll be sure and maybe throw it in the V Respawn episode or something if that happens.
Hopping into round number 4 of map number 3. Spaceforce looking to solidify the series win. If they can grab this Marsoc round, they'll take that 3rd map.
That's true, yeah. That was kind of a team kill. We fucked
No
him
horse left behind.
digitally.
Shame on us.
Yeah.
Fast push. The defense has went 4-1 again, randomly running out to the... They're going on a flank. This is a flank rush again.
Yeah, it is.
It might actually work.
It's a little risky with this spawn because all Spaceforce has to do is push objective right now. They can walk up to the objective and cap without any utility right now.
Oh, yeah, because the one defender who's actually on the objective building isn't even on the right side of the building.
Yeah, they have a free cap right here.
He's fixing it, though.
He is. And now Traded's in a position to deny that cross.
Yep. This is what I assume was the plan for the 4-man push from the old, you know, the last play.
Yeah.
Kind of try and fan them out in a flank pattern, but really kind of surround them because that's what they've done. They basically closed off the eastern and northern side of the map.
I swear to God, I just saw him.
Fox 5. They may have made it to Center Hotel. Some stagnated at Helicopter Bungalow.
Things aren't going so well now for Spaceforce. They're trying to push their way out, but Box Toys is hoping to shut down that driver of car push, but he's got some support from his buddy, Lionheart there. Uno Miss Piggy.
Ugh, that hurt.
Yeah, that's why I didn't do one.
I know. Just trying to keep the people happy so they don't riot on us. And I don't know what Harry Carey sounds like enough, I guess, to really do it. So
That was a good Kermit. I really enjoyed that. Driver of
it
car.
was at first. Box Toys, the turtle himself. Oh, turtle's not a frog, is it?
I don't know if I got him.
We're losing it here. It's been such a long series.
It really has, and it's been so back and forth. It's like you
Yeah.
have to pay attention. It's not a blowout. You can't just like overhead map it and let it go. No, you got to like follow the action.
We're on the
this map
We're down.
is a little different.
We're going downhill right now. we climbed the mountain. We watched the series unfold. Now we're coasting down as Dr. Sean picks up Diesel Snakebite in the Onward. Are you seeing this?
What?
Snakebite's in a dryer right now. He's just spinning in circles. His corpse.
Oh, that's not
He's
happening for me. No,
breakdancing.
he's laying outside the trash container for me.
I've never
I'll
seen
have to
that.
check out
Yeah, that is a
Yeah.
special spectate bug right there.
Those you just gotta appreciate that, like the rag dolls. Like when you get that kill and you see them backflip.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just gotta appreciate those little things, even in a more realistic shooter like Onward. Like some arcadey stuff like ragdolling on death is still pretty fun to have.
The bungalow is on. What's that? Where? He's at the south bungalow in the dirt. Okay.
Lionheart trying to put the entire squad on his back right here.
He's all the way out the door now. He's all the way out the door. Okay, he's going back in. Yeah, I saw.
Snakebite's giving him
Communication
comms.
between
Yeah.
these two- yeah, it's great. I mean, I guess you could expect that out of two brothers. It's just two brothers.
All right, he's back in. He's sticking out. He's slowly sticking out. Yeah, I'm watching.
All right, Lionheart should now try and like one hand syringe Snakebite. Oh, but no, he will get the secure kill.
Grabs Snakebite. Traden's still going to be their biggest threat, and I don't know if they're aware
Yeah.
of his position there.
Nope. Well, it was Enigma, but either way.
The tree just blocking vision from Enigma onto Lionheart, and Lionheart now drops back a minute 10 on the clock. His best bet is to utilize this wall and rotate around towards objective side. If he can get over towards Raz, he has a chance. I think that's what he's trying to do. 50 seconds left.
Starting to wonder if these teams are trolling us with the 5 horsemen coming back on the last point of the map
Yeah.
to stay alive. Oh, that howl from Lionheart. Ooh! That's a new sound effect
Ooh.
I haven't heard in a while.
Can't get
Raz.
out there as Raz patiently waits for him on the other side. The 5 horsemen take up a round, and maybe they want to mount a comeback.
Okay, fine, but next time can they ask permission first? I mean, I know there's some people out there that like to work on the whole better to ask for forgiveness than permission in some certain circumstances, but fine, whatever. I'm not mad.
Yeah. I'm just exhausted from those first 2 maps. If you are just tuning in, as you can see, Quarantine 4-3, Bazaar 4-3. Those were 3-3. They both came down to map round number 7 for that decider. Although I do think maybe one of them was round 6. I think there was a cap on Quarantine? Has there been a cap? Actually, now I think about it. Yeah, there was definitely one cap. On one of those maps. Either way, Spaceforce did manage to take both of them, so...
No, the cap was on this map, actually, so...
Was it?
It did go to 7 rounds on the first 2, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
But I was on mute, and we both said different maps, and I just started cracking up because neither one of us could remember where the cap happened, and it happened on this map in front of us.
But wasn't there a cap on... I don't know.
There was a few attempts, but I
Yeah.
don't think any actually happened. Because yeah, somebody got in. I think Lionheart had gotten in on the south on Bazaar, but it took too long, and Raz managed to run over and stop it.
5 Horsemen investing in an east push here. I think they're going to be spotted, though. Yeah, shots do come in, not quite landing on to Traden.
Yeah, one went to Marseille.
Interestingly enough, they dropped back off of that angle. Diesel is pushing up, and driver of car getting into a forward position up against the wall. They're definitely rotating to react to this information that they know the 5 Horsemen are here.
Watching the laser light shows now that we get is just insane.
You really get to see what people are able to identify at a distance and what they have trouble with, because you'll see lasers cross over an enemy and then kind of waits a second, then some shots come out, and Raz doesn't take any time to take the shots onto Diesel as he grabs himself a kill. And I mean, unreal as the Horsemen start their comeback.
Was this their plan? Like, were they trolling us? They just knew that they could win this map the whole time. They've just been like, oh, sure, we'll just goof off until it's 3-0 and then come back and just win the whole thing like it's nothing. Because they're kind of walking away, walking through this first part of the map. These northern, the eastern defenders, though, will be tougher. I will have to go ahead and give them that.
I saw one move to helicopter bungalow.
I mean, and the crazy thing is, if we're mentally tired after watching those rounds, imagine what these guys are feeling. They have played so much Onward.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was thinking about that. I was thinking about why not only do we as casters get a bit more fatigued than, say, like when we do actual broadcast days at like LANs and things, and it's because at those, even though we might be doing 8 hours of casting, they're usually taking about a 5-minute break between each map, so that the players and support staff and everyone can have a bit to kind of change, do things, maybe fix a tech issue that might have arisen. So that's actually why. It's because we actually do more like consistent, solid in a row. Ooh, but Snakebite there will find the needle of Dr. Sean, take him out with a head bite. God, just turn me off, ladies and gentlemen. I'm done. But yeah, no, I agree with you, NightFiree. It's got to be exhausting for these players, especially at 2 hours just straight through. I mean, I know a lot of these folks are playing that easily in comp lobbies every night, so it's really not that big of a deal. But it is when you're playing at the more high level of the actual match mindset, right? Because your mind is focused. That takes more work. You burn more energy in your brain when trying to maintain focus like that. Enigma with a sick pick on the driver of car from the white car on the Western Road. And the 5 Horsemen are mounting an intense comeback here as they can really mount up for the objective at this point. The only remaining member is alive on top of it, and they could totally overcome him and just keep him at bay.
Snakebite and Raz in a bit of a firefight. Traden also putting some rounds out as well. Snakebite's going to drop back off from that position. Here comes the push.
Yeah, Box Toys is out and rotating, but Snakebite definitely hears it. Oh, that's a grenade. You're dead.
Oh, wow. Right at the toes of Snakebite. He tries to stand up and get into the doorway in time, but can't. And the Horsemen grab themselves a Marsoc round.
Man, what is going on here? 5 Horsemen. Why, when, what? Where did this fuel come? It's like they got a second win. NightFiree.
Yeah, I mean, to the point of getting fatigue, I think maybe that's what's happening here with some of these players on Spaceforce's squad, letting in some picks. You know, getting a little over-aggressive. Driver of car pushing out into a pretty exposed position there in the center. Maybe a little overconfidence as well. And curious to see how Spaceforce will react and if they can, since they are going to be going on the offensive for this next round.
Doobie-doobie-doo, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining our late night Onward broadcast. We're here to bring you the finest quality in VR esports, and we're happy that you chose to spend tonight here with us. So cozy on up to this fire by our helicopter and warm your bodies up with the hot action that is Onward VR Master League. I can hear NightFire's facepalm, even though he didn't do it loud enough.
It's just like everybody thinks you're gonna think. Everybody likes you now because you do all these impressions, and you're just showing me up, and I'm just here after casting for 4 hours, not wanting to do a goddamn impression, making me look bad.
I'm fresh. All right, folks, don't give NightFire a hard time or love on me more because I'm doing impressions.
You already did 2 impressions, and I'm refusing, so I'm the enemy now. That's how it works.
NightFire has already done more casts than I have today, so give him a break. He's got that sweet, sweet voice as it is. He doesn't even have to try and do a sexy Onward voice. He just talks naturally.
Too late, dude. Damage is done. Spaceforce in the south, looking for some picks up on the hilltop. Not gonna find them. Diesel also trying to find some of that action. And Spaceforce really actually pretty locked in for this push. They are taking their time. I do anticipate a bit of a slow burn from them on this one.
Yeah, I agree. This will probably be a bit of a slow round. I mean, Spaceforce is up against the wall here. They have to convert. Well, they don't have to convert here. They can let this one go, but they don't want to. I mean, they don't want to put themselves on match point, even though it would put them on defense for it. Hell, I don't know. Lose this one. Spaceforce should be better off, I think. To make it easier.
Take a look at the defensive positionings. Raz, Sean on objective. As he does take a couple of shots over towards...
Man, I can't see if I know. I don't even know if I'm shooting somebody.
that street, and he's just shooting at nothing.
Gotta love those pixels, man. They will make you see weird things.
Pretty free and easy lane, actually, for Lionheart if he wants to just kind of walk up to objective. I think he could do it. There is Raz, I think Enigma to worry about, but not quite there just yet. They also got one way up on the north. Curious what his plan is Maybe he'll be able to snipe down into the positions that Enigma's at. Inside that window.
What's gonna happen? Who's gonna die?
Contact North Hotel. Contact North Hotel.
Lots of movement, not a lot of shooting. Still a lot of just kind of prodding from Spaceforce onto the defensive positionings, but Lionheart will find Raz, which unfortunately will be his demise because it will give out his positioning. He's still alive, though, so that's good. He can give callouts. He definitely knows where he was shot from.
Well, a suppressive fire coming in from that LMG up on the north, as well as the push comes in from Spaceforce in the center. Diesel and Snakebite inching their way forward, as well as Driver of Car. I think if he decides to go too far around that backside, though, Buckstoys is waiting with a C4 that's already been planted. So we'll see if Driver of Car can rotate in time.
Minute 30 coming up on the clock. Spaceforce running out of time, and these two defenders here with Enigma and Boxtoys are going to be a little bit hard to unroot if they don't, if they kind of keep with their current pattern of not moving around a whole bunch, which is great. Dr. Sean will find the head of Snakebite and go ahead and cut that off. Spaceforce dwindling down pretty fast here. Looks like we could be seeing another 5 Horseman round victory and go into yet another round 7, or no, in this one it would be round 6 for the map.
Driver of Car trying to deal with Buckstoys, tosses a nade up and over. Diesel goes down, Boxtoys gets picked up. Driver of Car getting shot by Dr. Sean. Now it's all up to Diesel as he tried to inch across. He thought he had that side secured, but Enigma still left alive. Gets the kill towards objective. The final member of Spaceforce is way up on the north with 35 seconds left. It's going to be Destructor, who just isn't going to be able to get the job done in time. Dr. Sean picking up Destructor. We are going to go to a round number 6. Just when you thought it was going to get... I mean... I think we're pushing 3 hours here. If we can go another 20 minutes. We can take a timeout and then do a nice 6-minute round for round number 6. We can set a nice 3-hour cast mark, so let's go for that.
We're going to go ahead and take a dinner break. Come back in half an hour to find out how this match ends. Jesus, 5 Horsemen, what are you doing to me? Why do you have to make this comeback now? Oh my goodness, but it's been great. Yeah. I can't lie. It's been good play, even though they had that one silly play that didn't quite work out. Everything else since then has been coming up Horsemen, so... we'll see, but now Spaceforce on the final round here of the series. It's the last one. It's the one that matters. Can Spaceforce hold their objective for the next 6 minutes? Stay tuned as we dive on in to round 6 of map 3.
I don't think I said it once today.
I know. I'm proud of you. That's why I had to throw it in there myself. Make sure it wasn't a cast with NightFiree if it didn't have at least one diving in.
Driver of Car is going to dive on into the first kill, the first blood, as he finds some shots onto the Horseman. Now they are up against 4v5. Raz trying to find the picks in this long-range engagement, but it's a bit risky to be checking this. There are some 12 times out. Looking for those long-range fights.
Smoke placement fairly solid if the smokes do what they want it to do, and that one in the center is going to kind of billow out right towards the defender, making it a little difficult for them to see. So that's going to be actually a pretty effective smoke, even though they seem like they're placed out in the middle of nowhere.
I'm moving.
One upstairs, Center Hotel.
Enigma getting a little antsy, a little back and forth. He's dodging the shots from driver of car, but can't dodge them all the way to the wall as he does finally get picked off.
Yeah, the problem with that zebra running is while you may be dodging shots, you're not really getting any much closer to your cover.
He kind of just zigzagged out in the middle of nowhere for a little bit. A little tap dance, avoided some bullets, ultimately got picked off and confirmed there. Maybe Box Toys can find the refrag.
Yeah, maybe. He's definitely going to be helping him out by walking over to that other window. But we'll see if he can actually connect those shots and get the actual pick. Horseman here on the back foot already. 4 minutes left on the clock. Spaceforce hoping to finally shut this down. And once again, we went to our last round here on our last map. This match has taken a long time. And yes, we've complained about it a little bit. Let's be fair. But it was all in good fun, really. I've had a great time watching this cast. It's been a heck of a series. And I expected this when I picked it up originally. I thought this is going to be a good back and forth, and it has delivered tenfold. So I'm super happy about this cast. You'll have to forgive my loss of mind, but, you know, just like the players, we're getting a little fatigued here after about 2.5 hours on the clock so far.
Three minutes left. Trade-in and Box Toys in the center, one down in the south. Gonna be a bit of a slow burn here. Maybe around 2 minutes they'll start to make their moves, but would be surprised if it happened before then.
It's gonna be a tough even though it's downhill, uphill battle for 5 Horsemen at this point. Too many early picks. They really weren't able to get themselves into any positions. No refrags on any of the picks, unfortunately, either. So it's a tough spot to be in. I'm not saying it's completely over and done. I mean, they could pull out some real miracle and... Ooh, but I think Raz just got spotted. As soon as he clears this wall again, he is dead. And there come the shots now.
Backs off the wall there, rotating around, the correct move to be making, and will be avoiding some lines of sight, but driver of car could be peeking out the window if he wanted to towards Raz. Diesel catching out Box Toys in the center, more shots over towards Trade and don't connect. Now it's 1:15, Spaceforce able to stop the Horsemen from moving out from their positions, although you do see Raz trying to make his advancement. He knows he's low on time. I wonder if Traden's aware of that as well. Ooh. I think he caught the toe there.
Shot him in the toe. Raz has got 44 seconds. He's about the only hope I think they have at really getting any cap here. And never mind, he'll go ahead and get triple teamed. And there's the last kill, and Spaceforce finally able to take that 4th point, which has eluded them for so long now. I mean, and our match is over.
That 4th point was hard for Spaceforce to get every single map.
That's true.
The 5 Horsemen made Spaceforce work for it. They put up an excellent battle. This was their 3rd placement match, so they haven't even been placed yet, and they're giving this good of a run of the money for Spaceforce. I'm curious to see what they're going to be capable of for the rest of this season. We're definitely going to have to keep our eyes on them. I think that's going to be it from us, though. If you do want to get involved in the action, head on over to vrmatchleague.com/onward. You can follow the YouTube, watch old VODs there. You can follow the Facebook, Twitter to know when we're going live, so you can catch live streams. And you can also follow the Twitch and join the Discord, where you can be a reservist or register a team of your own and join the league. We also have a bunch of other games if you are interested. Final Assault, Contractors, Pavlov, and Space Junkies, the most recent addition. So if you do want to fire up a team for another game, just head on over to vrmatchleague.com with no slashes and see what's available.
That's it, NightFiree. Of course, thanks to everyone for tuning in. We do appreciate that. And of course, congratulations to Spaceforce on their series win. But, you know, again, the 5 Horsemen really a team to watch out for. And after having watched them here tonight, I think they've got some pretty impressive stuff. Now to see them really tie up that cohesion of a unit like we see out of the teams who have been together for a while, and I think that's a really dangerous team. But, you know, again, congratulations to Spaceforce, commiserations, and better luck next time to the 5 Horsemen. But again, well played, both teams, a great matchup and a great mid-tier back and forth slugfest the entire time. So I'm really not disappointed in that. And of course, thanks to all of you viewers for coming out and supporting the cast. We do appreciate that as well.
Absolutely. That was a fun battle. Thank you for joining us. We'll be signing off. My name is NightFiree with 2 E's, my co-caster Sleepy with 2 3's. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you with more action tomorrow. So don't miss out.